Let's get a check of that forecast now with Erica. She's tracking rain. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Justine. Yeah, it is currently raining for some of our North Bay locations. You can see all that green on your screen here on Storm Tracker 4, which not only shows a little bit of wet weather offshore, but over Highway 101 in Cloverdale over to Santa Rosa, making its way closer and closer to Petaluma. So this is just a couple of sprinkles ahead of that main front that we will be tracking later on this afternoon. Dry in downtown San Francisco for the most part. You may encounter some drizzle, overcast, cloudy, and foggy conditions. Now that will continue into the afternoon. We do keep that potential for wet weather Bay Area wide. We're talking between a 10 and 20% chance. It looks like that chance could increase as we head into the evening hours. I'll break out Futurecast 4 and have all the details coming up in just a bit. George?
Thanks, Erica. And we are continuing to monitor.
Checking now back to our local forecast. Some people on Facebook are telling me they're starting to see sprinkles in the North Bay, rain. Erica has details. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Justine. Well, it does look like most of this wet weather will stick north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, I did want to go straight to your satellite and radar picture to show exactly where the bulk of the wet weather activity is currently situated. Now, you'll see it over Eureka, making its way closer and closer to Ukiah. The bulk of this wet weather actually still sitting offshore. Now, here in the Bay Area, we are seeing just some traces of it, some sprinkles north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And then it actually looks like this yellow on your screen does indicate moderate to heavy rainfall, which we could actually see as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. So a quick look at what to expect. Temperatures, for one, will be significantly cooler than the seasonal average. So even if you don't experience any wet weather for some of our inland East Bay areas, portions of the South Bay, you'll certainly notice that cool down. And it looks like we do have a 20 to 30% chance of rain in the North Bay for the heart of the Bay Area. And of course, those chances not as great for those of you in the South Bay and for inland East Bay spots. Now, Futurecast 4 predicts by about 12 o'clock, it looks like really just dealing with cloud cover for the northern half of the Bay Area. That main front still sitting well to our north, even into through the 3 o'clock hour. We could see some sprinkles for places like Santa Rosa. It really isn't until about later on tonight, about 8 p.m. right around Highway 1. We could catch some rain in the Santa Rosa area. That yellow on your screen does indicate moderate to heavier rainfall, and then scattered showers will persist as we head in closer to Saturday morning. Now, your temperatures right outside the door, pretty typical, pretty windy out there, especially for those of you located in the hills and for some of the North Bay mountains. It looks like Oakland coming in at 54 degrees, 58 on tap for San Jose. And as we take those numbers into the afternoon, it really doesn't think will warm up by much. In fact, anticipating mid-50s for Daly City, Half Moon Bay, 64 degrees over in Oakland. Now, we could see some 70s for places like Antioch, Fairfield. Same goes for Livermore, keeping in the upper 60s for places like San Jose. And a look here at your extended forecast. Yes, we do have the potential for wet weather as we head into the rest of the day. We don't have any rain to speak of into tomorrow. However, temperatures will slide by a couple of degrees, and then it looks like we will bump things up as we head into Sunday. Looks like temperatures could be back into the 70s for some of your warmer inland areas. I'll have a full check of that 7-day around the bay coming up in my next report. But it's 9:19. Let's see how the traffic is shaping up with George.
Pretty nicely, Erica. It's been a great commute all morning long.
Good Friday morning and a wet and drizzly one we are off to already. Erica has details on our semi-rainy forecast. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning to you, Justine. I wanted to step out of the way here and show you this live look from our Mount Tam cam. You can certainly see sprinkles on the lens here. So yes, we are picking up some drizzly activity for some locations north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, this wet weather we're seeing right now is just in advance of the main front we will be tracking later on this afternoon, stretching into the evening. Temperature-wise, not too bad. In fact, we're seeing upper 50s for Mountain View, 56 degrees over in Palo Alto. It looks like Walnut Creek coming in at 54 degrees. But as we take a look here at Storm Tracker 4, you can see all that wet weather activity situated over Eureka, Ukiah. The bulk of it actually sitting offshore. That yellow on your screen does indicate where we could actually see periods of moderate to heavy rainfall. And then here in the Bay Area, situated over Highway 101, you could run into a sprinkle or two on your drive down from Cloverdale to Santa Rosa, making its way closer to the Petaluma area. I'll have a look at Futurecast 4 and those afternoon highs coming up in my next report. George?
We continue to look at a great commute around the Bay Area.
So if you are going to the fair, what kind of weather can you expect this weekend? Erica's in the Weather Center with the forecast. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Justine. Well, if they are headed that way today, it looks like they could catch some sprinkles later on into the afternoon. Into the weekend, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions. However, temperatures in Pleasanton could get into the low 70s. I have been monitoring conditions from our Mount Tam cam Kim, because from time to time we do see some sprinkles on the lens, and that's all in advance of this storm system we are tracking, expected to hit the Bay Area currently in Northern California over Eureka, stretching into Ukiah. Not only do we see that green, which does indicate light rainfall, but offshore we also have some yellow on the screen, which does indicate moderate to heavy rainfall. So certainly be aware of that as we head into the afternoon, into the evening hours. It looks like temperatures will also be relatively cool. In fact, much cooler than the seasonal average. So certainly be aware of that, even if you don't see any rainfall. For those of you located in your inland East Bay valleys, for portions of the South Bay, it looks like you'll certainly notice the cool down in the temperatures. Now, Futurecast 4 does show into the 12 o'clock hour. I don't really think we'll see too much in the way of rain. In fact, mostly cloudy conditions over the immediate part of the Bay Area. Now, as we push in closer to 3 p.m., we could see some sprinkles sitting offshore north of Santa Rosa, maybe along Highway 101. And then as we head into 8 p.m., we do have the potential to see moderate rainfall for portions of the North Bay, again, affecting most people north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Later on this evening, we could see some sprinkles for places like Oakland and downtown San Francisco, but it looks like the wet weather we are tracking will stick north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, if you're just heading outside the door, you'll certainly want to bring a jacket with you, certainly an umbrella, because temperatures sitting in the 50s and pretty slow to budge, with Oakland coming in at 54 degrees. Same goes for Half Moon Bay, low 60s over in Sunnyvale. And as we take those numbers into the afternoon, I really don't think we'll see too much of a climb. In fact, downtown San Francisco will be lucky to make it to 60 degrees, 67 on tap for Sunnyvale. Now, we could see some low 70s for Antioch, Pleasanton, Livermore, 64 degrees for those of you in Oakland. But your 7-day around the Bay forecast does show looks like we will be dry heading into the weekend. Cooler conditions. In fact, Saturday is expected to be the coldest day of the week. Now, we could see more sunshine by Sunday, a mix of morning fog and afternoon sunshine, and then it looks like temperatures start to climb once again, breaking into the 80s as we transition into the work week. George?